All right. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. The brothers and sisters that's online tuning in to another episode. DSTM, don't shoot the messenger. It's your brother Math IQAhmath, first name. IQ is all the same. Hopefully everybody's doing well, man. Made it through this 6 days of labor, entering into the 7th day of rest, man. Hopefully everybody is looking forward to it, enjoying it. But we've got much to discuss this evening. It's been a little minute since I did a Friday Night Lights. So hopefully everybody's up, prepared, ready to go. Shalom to those who are checking in on the chat. The House of Bayan, shalom to y'all. Raniyah, shalom to you, my sister. Uziel in the house, shalom to you. Kohaf, shalom to you. The House of Byron, shalom to you. Brother Ron, shalom to you. Anyone else who's going to be tuning in, usually y'all kind of start tuning in a little later, which is kind of odd to me because I'm like, okay, it's 8 o'clock my time, Pacific Standard Time. Some of y'all are tuning in on the East Coast, Midwest, 2 or 3 hour differences, and y'all start tuning in at 12 o'clock your time. But it's all good as long as you're tuning in. If you have not, read what is scrolling below. You see that? You see that? We are already starting, but here's where I really want you to look at. Make sure you wipe your feet. Hello? Did you wipe your feet before you came on in here? Prayerfully, all of y'all did. I know most of y'all are pretty solid on doing that, man, and vigilant and helping your brother spread the word, which is much appreciated. All praise to the Most High. Appreciate y'all for that, man. Brother Carlos, shalom to you. Subsequently in the house, shalom to you, my sister. All right. As you can see, it goes without saying, man. Y'all lived the same week that I did. You went through the same week of events just like I did. Some of y'all are probably already hip to some of the things I'm going to be discussing. Maybe you're not. In the event that you're not, we're going to be discussing much things. So much that I had to break it up in parts. Notice I said part one. Tomorrow, most high willing, I'll double back and do part two. Um, Not going to do another 3+ hour live like last weekend. Even though it was great, we was moving in the spirit, everything was good. This on a Friday night, I figured why not just break it up. All right, so all praise to the Most High permit. We're gonna get through part one tonight, part two tomorrow. Much to discuss. Y'all seen what's going on? Everything from earthquakes to bombings to more lies being told by Geritol Joe Biden. Uh, is it? Yeah, I did say Joe. Usually I'm calling him Slow Biden, but the spirit came to me the other day and said Geritol Joe. You know, for the old folks, man, y'all remember Geritol, right? I don't even know if they sell it anymore. You know, y'all remember Geritol? Hold on, just in case you don't remember. Geritol Joe. That's going to be one of my new monikers for Slow Biden. Geritol Joe. Remember this stuff right here? Geritol, complete multivitamin mineral supplement tablets, liquid energy item, vitamin B, iron supplement. Uh, Back in the day, they used to always advertise it for the aged and elderly, you know. Uh, and this is probably what Slow Biden is on anyway. Trump has said that he was on performance enhancing drugs anytime he had to go up and speak and had to speak for more than like 20 or 30 minutes without stumbling, fumbling, drooling, and, mumbling his words, right? So maybe he's on Geritol, you know. Either way, Geritol Joe, there you go. All right, all praises. Uh, okay, Barb, you know what I'm talking about. Geritol. Yeah. Okay. All praises, man. So y'all see what's going down. So we got much to discuss. I want to revisit and go into second Ezra 16 a bit, because much of that chapter is prophetic in nature, and not even much of it. It's pretty much all prophetic, right? And a lot of what our brother, the prophet Ezra, was receiving we're witnessing today. So that chapter kind of summarizes everything that we're going to be discussing. So rather than going to a bunch of different precepts and trying to piece it all together, this chapter alone will help us get into the spirit of understanding where we're at. Shalom, shalom. Mike. All praise to the Most High, man. Good to see you on too. All right. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. All right. Let me open up my. Oops. Let's get to it. Let's get right to the scriptures, right? 2nd Ezra 16. And as we read this and as we're looking over all of these current events and things of that nature that's been happening throughout the week, I mean, there's so much stuff going on. The Statue of Liberty got hit with lightning, which is more indicative of the downfall of America. I mean, America is crumbling. The Most High said that all the idols are going to melt at his presence. All the idols of Egypt are going to melt at his presence. You're seeing that go down. You're seeing earthquakes in diverse places everywhere from Taiwan to New York, in New Jersey, right? Is disease X upon us? Everybody's talking about this avian bird flu, and it's nothing new. But why is it being so hyped up now by the World Health Organization, the CDC? They're talking real heavy about this thing going on. We've got the eclipse coming up in a couple of days. I mean, there's a lot happening right now, and we're seeing. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I'm sure y'all are all hip to the game because unless you like under a rock, man, and you're not really paying attention at all to anything, unless you're still trying to chase down the Diddy stories or whatever else is going on in Hollywood news, you know what's happening in the earth right now, and it's all bad. The economy is really in a bind right now. A lot of that stuff, we're going to split all that stuff up that I'm talking about. Between tonight and tomorrow, we're going to touch everything. All right. Let's get to the scriptures first, though. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. So here we are looking at different nations of rule. Notice that they're on different cardinal points in the earth. Babylon being the country of the north, speaking about America. Asia, dealing with all of Asia, Eastern Asia, right? Which would encompass China, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, you name it, right? That's all part of the land of Asia. And as far as East Asia, woe be unto the Egypt. So we understand and see what there's much going on there in Africa as well. Syria represents the Middle East. So we're seeing all of these things come to pass. The Lord said, woe, meaning destruction, is going to be happening in these places and these kingdoms. They're going to experience his judgment from the Lord. Verse 2, gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. I mean, I thought God loved everybody. I thought salvation is for the world and whosoever believes. I mean, why is he pronouncing judgment unto these particular nations? Why, all of which, even if you're looking at it from a perspective of, oh, that's literal, it's these particular nations only. Okay, well, they're all heathen nations according to the scriptures. And the Lord said he's going to destroy all of them. So which pill would you rather swallow? You want to swallow the fact that the Lord is not dealing with everybody? Or do you want to be literal and say, oh, it's just them? Okay, well, either way, they're still heathen nations and the Lord's pronouncing destruction to them. But why, if he loves everybody? Why, if he's so merciful and so graceful? Why, if he gave his only begotten son for everybody and whosoever and the rest of the Gentiles? And no, there's particular destruction happening to these nations who have constantly been in defiance of the word of the Lord, constantly been adverse to righteousness, constantly been thorns in the sides of his children, the children of Israel, blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. All right, let's continue. Verse 3, a sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? This is why you're seeing no progress made with any of these peace talks. There's nothing happening within the political realms and the systems that are in place right now. Modern day democracy is not going to come to the rescue and all of a sudden instill peace back in the earth and all good things are going to come to an end. And I mean, all the bad things are going to come to an end. Oh, the economy is going to pick back up. There's not going to be any more war. Oh, the diseases and the plagues, they're just going to disappear. There's going to be a magic shot that you can get shot in your butt cheeks. It's going to all of a sudden make everybody immune to anything that's out there. That ain't happening. None of the above. The Lord is saying all of these things have already been sent forth, right? They're already out there. There's nothing anyone can do to avert the judgment that the Lord has already pronounced. Nothing. Hold on. Sirach 39. Let's get this real quick. The Lord said, man, these things have already been set up. What can anybody do? They've already been sent for. We say, who's going to stop a hungry lion that sees the fallen, wildebeest or the antelope or the deer or the warthog or whatever the hell is laying out there wounded? Who's going to stop that lion from going and get it and feeding his pack? No, nothing is going to get in the way from him feeding his pride, right? Let's look at this. Sirach 39:28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction. See, these are all spirits that the Lord has let out into the earth. That's why there's not going to be a physical means that anybody's going to be able to devise to stop any of these things that's happening. You've got hurricanes that's picking up and tornadoes that's picking up all throughout the Americas. The seasons still haven't really fully kicked in certain areas. I think just last week it was still snowing in Detroit, and in various other places it's still raining in much of the East Coast. And you say it was supposed to be spring. Well, that old saying, April showers bring May flowers. So to have some rain still is not too much, but snow. So there's a lot of things that's going on, man, and it's spiritual. That's why the Lord said when he deals in the spirit, he said, I'm going to send forth these spirits and they're going to lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. They're not going to stop until they please the Most High, until the Most High says, good job, my spirit and my plagues, or whatever the case may be. Until they get his approval, they're not going to stop. They ain't a bomb, they ain't a AI or any particular technology the so-called white man can come up with to stop his impending doom and judgment. There's nothing that the nations can do to try to drum up a way to try to stop the judgment of the Lord. It's too late, man. The children of Israel, we paid our dues. Well over 400 years. Most I said we got hit double in Isaiah the 40th chapter. The Lord said, man, we've been so bad, I had to whip their ass 2 times. So we've gotten ours. And it's time for us to be redeemed. Okay. Verse 29, fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. See, didn't we read? Haven't you read before in Ecclesiastes 3? There's a time for everything under the heavens and in the earth. Time for war, time for peace, time to embrace, time to refrain from embracing, a time for peace, a time for, all of those things. The Lord said that there is times where everything is in place. And when the time of need is, these particular spirits that we read, fire, hail, famine, death, teeth of wild beasts, all of it. He said, when the time is right, when it's ready, the Lord said, I'll send it forth. And when their time has come, they shall not transgress his word. There's going to be no failures when these spirits are sent forth. So when the Lord said that many plagues are getting sent out there, the avian flu, disease X, whatever the so-called white man wants to label them, whatever the CDC and the WHO says, this is the next thing that's popping up. Yeah, man, it came from the Most High. The Lord said he's going to plague Egypt as before, meaning what? The same, not the, the manner of plagues that Egypt felt back in the days, as we here are in the spirit of Passover. We'll be celebrating ours April 22nd at sundown. Some, have already celebrated theirs. That's neither here nor there. There's plenty that, there's other congregations and camps who still have yet to celebrate theirs. Fact of the matter is, all of Israel is celebrating the Passover one way or the other. We're all in the spirit of Passover within the last 30 days, or within the next 30 days, I should say, starting maybe about a week or two ago. Right. So plagues have been sent out. What is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may one quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. So if you got someone who is a strong archer, skillful in bow, shoots it off, and it says, who's going to turn again? Who's going to make that arrow turn back around? This ain't the Last Dragon with Leroy, where he's out there catching the damn, arrows out there and chopping them in midair. No. This arrow's coming from the Most High. Verse 8, the Lord, Shalakia, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? So everything is coming from the Most High. A fire shall go from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? That's a cold line right there. When I first read that, I was like, God dang. If that ain't poetic and visual, somebody getting beat to powder, when you see the Avengers, Endgame, and what's his name? Thanos got the Infinity Stones, the glove on, and he hit that snap, and everybody just started disintegrating, turning into powder, turning into dust, evaporating. That's how the Most High really works. Continuing on verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep. See, talking about earthquakes, talking about the seas rising up from the waves from the deep. There was threats of a tsunami over there in Taiwan. Now, they said the maximum would have got is like 10 feet, but we've seen tsunamis hitting places like Tonga and Japan with much destruction, right? When they had that earthquake over there in Japan, and what was it, 2010, Fukushima? Remember that? See, with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. Remember, it said when these spirits go out, man, they're not going to fail his commandment. They're not going to stop until they pleased him that made them. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So this is why I said these four nations is about the four corners of the world. All of the world is going to be getting hit with plagues, destruction, judgment from the Most High. Right? Dropping down. Verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. And look at this, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Now you can look at it in two ways. That could be a precept regarding regeneration, because Ezra is acknowledging, he knows this is a future prophecy. He's receiving this as a vision. And now he's saying he's going to be there in those times. He's saying, who's going to deliver me in those days? He's saying, I'm going to be there. I'm going to witness all of this stuff. Or he could have literally been thinking, this could be happening in a year or two from now. But he understood that this was the vision of the last day. This is the times of the end. So even here we see he came back and said, "Man, he'll be back." He said, "Who's going to deliver me in those days?" Oh snap! Verse 18: the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. This is why Yahweh said, these are the beginning of sorrows in Matthew 24 and Luke 21 and so forth and so on. Even Luke 21:19 says, "He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved." In your patience, Luke 21:19 says, "In your patience possess your soul." Why? Because it's just the beginning. As much as I'd love to say, "Oh, this is it, it's the end. Oh, get ready, we're about to be delivered." No, everything that we're seeing, witnessing, and understanding, and that's going viral, the Lord said this is just the beginning. Good Lord, can you imagine really when it really gets thick, when it's really going down? I mean, it's going to be a lot of people, man, that is not going to really be holding the faith like they do now. It's cool now to be trendy online, and oh yeah, you got the Israelite communities, you got your camps, congregations. We all are coming together, we doing stuff, and but when the proverbial ish hits the fan, you're gonna see a lot of people disappear. A lot of people are gonna turn their back on the faith. A lot of people are gonna, denounce the faith. Many of us can say, "Oh Lord, not me, not me." Well, what did Peter say? Didn't Peter say the same things? And denied Yahweh 3 times. Look at this. This is why we always got to be careful, man. We always got to move in the spirit and pray that the Most High did. As David prayed, he said he prayed that the Most High didn't remove his spirit from him. Because at any particular point in time, man, we can be gone. And when we really get tested, when we really get tried, when the ish really hits the fan, I believe my Elder Rashaf said that characters are made, it's revealed. We can stand and say, "Yeah, I'm this, that, and the third. I'm give ourselves flattering titles. We can, get into all the above, man. But when things really go down, the true nature and character of our spirits is going to be revealed. And I pray to the Most High that, I stay 10 toes down, man, all the way to the end, whatever my end may be. If that's to see the glory of the kingdom, man, all praise to the Most High, man. Everything that I've sacrificed and it paid off, and I made it. From martyred for the truth, it is what it is. But, my hope and prayers that I make it and the rest of righteous brothers and sisters that's been enduring it to the end, make it as well. So let's look at this real quick in Luke 21, just to keep a sharp reminder, right? Because at any particular point in time, we could say we're on one level, man, but not really. This is after Yahweh died and his crucifixion was taking place. 3 days, 3 nights, birth, death, resurrection, so forth and so on, right? After it was over, man, what happened? The disciples went back to work. they said, "Man, oh man, it was a good run, It was a good run, man. Let's get on back to work, man. We was riding out with the Messiah. We got great understanding. We witnessed miracles and the whole nine, and boom, they went right back to what they was doing before that." So let's continue on. I'm gonna just start at verse 10. It says, "Yahweh saith unto," so Yahweh reconfigured himself. He came back, saw the disciples working. He said, "Okay, come on. Now I got to teach y'all again. Get over here." Yahweh said unto them, "Bring of the fish which ye have now caught." Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land full of great fishes, 153. And for all there were so many, yet was not one broken. Yahweh saith unto them, "Come and dine." And none of the disciples durst ask him, "Who art thou?" knowing that it is the Lord. Yahweh then cometh and taketh bread and giveth them, and fish likewise. This is now the 3rd time that Yahweh showed himself to his disciples. After that, he was risen from the dead. Remember, I think it was last was the last DSM or the one before that? But brought out the instance of, Israel having to be a see it to believe it type of people, and it brought out the example with doubting Thomas. When Yahweh had shown himself to the disciples, and they said, "Man, we seen Yahweh. We seen the piercings of his hands, and this, that, and the third." And Thomas was like, "Boosh, man, you ain't seen him. Get out of here. I don't believe you. I won't believe you until I can see him, and I put my fingers through the holes myself." Yahweh came back and did it. And he said, "Man, my Lord, my God, he did it. He's back." So now 3 times, which is also a form of completion. You get the 3 days and the 3 nights of Yahweh's birth, death, resurrection. You got the 3 patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You got the 3 times that Yahweh had to reappear. There's the various ways that you can look at the number 3, right? But we see here, 3rd time. I mean, how many times did he have to rebuke Peter? 3 times in this particular chapter. What happened when the cock crows? He said, "Man, Peter, before the cock crows 3 times in the morning, you're going to deny me thrice." He said, "No, not me, Lord. I'm down." What? Kwam Yasha Allah. "Oh, yeah, Lord, yeah. How about some outside Brock?" He's into it. Stone cold, man. But guess what? When the ish hits the fan, hey, Peter, tucked tailed a bit. Peter was talking to his sister, and when they was paraphrasing, when they had accosted Yahweh Shai, and the sister said, "Hey, what when you with them? Isn't that the Messiah? When you following him?" Peter was like, "No, not me. I wasn't with him." There's gonna be times like that. When you out there teaching, isn't this your YouTube channel? Wasn't you saying this, that, and the third? Oh, what your faith? And remember, look, isn't Canada giving out life sentences for speaking quote unquote hate speech, which whatever they define as hate speech? They've got internet laws now. Google is surrendering information to give up YouTube users to monitor what they're watching. I mean, it's all kind of stuff going on. Right now, it's kind of trendy to be an Israelite. Oh yeah, roll around, flinging your fringes around, and hanging out with your congregation, camp. Everything's great, But when we really get tested, that's when we find out where we're at. Verse 15. It says, "So when they dined, Yahweh saith to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He saith unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs." So Yahweh said, "Man, you see all this fish? You like making it, because not only was he looking at it from, the fleshly carnal aspect of you love me more than these fish. I know how you love fish. I know that's your favorite. We're gonna grub and all of that, right? But also remember, this was their occupation. So he's like, if you love me more than this money, you just got a big load of fish. Nothing's broken. You're gonna get. He said, "Man, you love me more than this?" He said, "Yeah, of course, Lord. You know that. Feed my lambs, then. Do the work." Verse 16. He said to him again in the second time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" He said unto him, "Yea, Lord. Thou knowest that I love thee." He said unto him, "Well, feed my sheep." You would think Peter would have got it by now, right? Verse 17, he said unto him a third time, "Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time. So now Peter's getting annoyed. "I can't believe he asked me this again. I just said twice. A third time, Lord? I mean, come on. You know." Obviously, Yahweh wasn't convinced. Peter was grieved because he said unto him a third time, "Lovest thou me?" And he said unto him, "Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee." Yahweh said unto him, "Feed my sheep." Notice he had to drill it in them 3 times because what? They went back to work. They went back fishing and all of that. He told them, "Man, after I'm gone, you're going to get anointed with the Holy Spirit. You're going to have the power to go out and heal. You got to go out and spread the gospel at the 4 corners of the earth. Peter, you're going to be the rock of the church. You got the scatter going. I mean, what are you doing?" And they just go back to work. The dream is over. We had a good time, but we're out of here. He's gone. And they got lax. But Yahweh tried to come back and rebuke him and tell him, man, get to work. Get to work. Right? So let me go back over to 2nd Ezra 16. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. That's why I said, this is all this stuff we're seeing is going to be the beginnings. And we're going to see a lot of our people, man, is going to drop off just from this alone. From this alone. I mean, you get people that they depart from the faith when they leave their camp or congregation and get kicked out or whatever the case may be because they was in it for the wrong reasons anyway. I'm not with that camp no more. What are you doing now? Well, I'm out here, man. I still remember I'm Israel, but I just ain't into it like that no more. Yeah, I don't follow that no more. I'm in the Kemet. I'm back in the Kemet now. I went back to the church, or I'm living my own life. I'm just doing me, man. And we ain't even seen no real hell yet. And people is already, I'm out of here. You notice now too, man, there's a big push now about the new covenant and we don't have to keep the laws no more, and people are getting swept away. Oh, you mean to tell me I'm doing all this work, labor, keeping the laws and monitoring the holy days and following the calendar and do all that for nothing? Because I'm protected under the new covenant, Yahweh's blood, and he paid the due. I mean, basically going back to Christianity. Dangerous times, y'all. The scriptures say, man, there's gonna be so many, gonna have there's gonna be deceitful workers that's come in drawing disciples away, drawing people away, wolves in sheep's clothing. All of those spirits is rising high right now. Spirit of Passover is upon us. We're dealing with, the revealing of leaven and malice and wickedness and evil and things of that nature and self-examination, to where we gotta, really start putting ourselves on the chopping block, and the Lord puts people on the chopping block. I've seen it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter because I don't want to be looked at like I'm gossiping. But believe me, if y'all looking around, man, there's issues in some camps got issues, or not even camps, congregations got problems. It's stuff going on. What's the well, I ain't gossiping. He's all on the internet. What's his name? Pastor Dow down there in Tennessee. They had some split going on over there. Rumors of adultery and all kind of madness going. I mean, it's wild. So know that we're in a time right now where we're just seeing the beginnings of these things, and it's becoming too hectic for some people. The real hell ain't even kicked in, man. Great mornings, the beginning of famine, great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear at the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, meaning these all are going to be sent as means for correction. So when we see these things, and that's why it's so ironic, that's why it's so crazy for somebody to say, "Oh, well, the laws is done away with. We don't have to keep those laws. We're only going to keep the two great commandments." The Lord said, "I'm going to send famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish. All these things are going to be scourges for an amendment." Amendment meaning to be corrected, to make amends, to make things right again. In order for us to do what? Repent. What are we repenting from? From the law. What's going to get us back on track? Adhering to the laws of the Most High again. Unless you want to be hit with famine, plague, tribulation, anguish. But watch this, verse 20. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. Even at when in the last days, you Israelites always talking about that old end time stuff, that cult talk, and all fear porn. All you guys are just trying to scare everybody, and the earth is going to continue on. We've always had earthquakes. We've always had lightning. We've always had wars. Nothing new. You guys are pushed. Okay. Why is that not going to be surprising? Because the Lord said, even though all this stuff is going on, people of the earth, 2/3 of Israel in particular, are not going to turn from their wickedness. They're going to make every excuse in the book. We ain't got to keep the laws. You brothers are Pharisees. We ain't got to, the Bible's been tampered with. Oh, there's been so many revisions. How do we know it's one we're reading is the right one? I don't believe it anymore. I'm going back in the world. Oh, I got offended because a brother, did me wrong in the truth. I'm going back in the world. Oh, my wife left me. I'm leaving the truth. I got to go follow her. Oh, my husband, he went back into the world. He's wicked. I'm going to go follow him. Plenty of our people is going to make every excuse in the book. As long as there's a Super Bowl, as long as there's NBA championships, that's bread and circuses, man. That's what the damn Romans was doing. The economy was all jacked up. People poor, broke, busted and disgusted, jacked up. They put on Coliseum events, gladiator fights, and give out free bread to entertain the people so that they stay faithful to the Republic. Make sure they got a little entertainment, man. Get on the UFC and all that other stuff. And again, I'm not a hypocrite. I watch sports. I watch other, but I do it in moderation of time. I'm not consumed with any of the above to where I lose focus, to where I don't understand really what's going on. And I'm not putting none of that ahead of the work, the study, and anything else that I need to do for the Lord. If I happen to catch it, if I happen to have the time, okay, I'll check it out. But other than that, I mean, there's no sin in that. But at the end of the day, if that's a stumbling block for you and you say, man, I just watch sports too much, I'm on the video games too much, I can't, then you need to curb your ways, man, and cut that ish off and really lock in. Because trust me, Satan knows all the weaknesses, the temptation. Oh, you love the money. Oh, your boss gonna tell you got extra overtime coming your way. Oh, but you got to work on Saturday. Got to work on the Sabbath. Oh, I'm gonna make an excuse. The Lord knows I need this money. This might be a blessing from the Lord. So I could finally pay off this credit card because my wife charged it up. She was out there shopping crazy. Oh, yeah. Let me get this OT, man. The Lord knows it's only going to be 3 Sabbaths. I'm going to apply my faith. He's gonna forgive me. Hell, see, all of those things going to be popping up. We are in captivity. Got to serve my enemy in one of all things. I mean, what can I do? If you don't know what to do what you know. Know, the prefix of knowledge. Apply the knowledge, right? Do the knowledge of the commandments. Don't make excuses. So it says, verse 20 says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So our people is not going to pay attention to the scourges, the judgments, the famine, the plague, tribulation, anguish, the war, so forth and so on, man. They're going to be too worried about, the next Cardi B song or Sexy Red or, what the next little dance song is going to be or how much is a pint of lean. And, they're not going to be paying attention to the real stuff. Look, 21. Behold, victuals shall be so cheap on the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. So, there's going to be goods are still going to be available. I mean, you can still go shop at the 99-cent store, Dollar General, while they're still open, even though they're closing many of them. As long as McDonald's, not even McDonald's, because they're out of control. we might have passed this particular point because then we read Wendy's was price adjusting their menus according to the traffic during the day. If it's lunchtime, they boost the prices up. If it's a little dead period, they boost it down. When it's dinner time, they boost the prices back up. But they still got them little deals out there. Oh, 2 for 1, wherever you're going. Pizza, the Domino's still selling your $6.99, $7.99 for pizzas. Oh, you can still eat. People gonna say, man, please, I'm still eating. I'm still good. What you mean? And at the same time, once they usher in this beast system and you can start seeing, oh, I can have a burger made out of mold, poop burgers I can have. Oh, these are so cheap. Good thing my carbon credit card is filled up. My little B system uh credit allowances. I can get all the food I want and bring it back to my little cubicle. Yeah, you can have all of that. People gonna say, "Oh, we're fine. There's no famine over here, man. Yeah, man, it's over in Africa, Haiti. Oh, that's down there in South and Central America. Oh, the Middle East, they're going through it, man. But good old America, man, we're still fine." The illusion is gonna have everybody still not even thinking that the things that surrounding them is gonna cause problems. Continuing, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So it says, even when people are in those particular mind frames, it says all the evils are still going to continue to grow. Remember, it said that this was the beginning of sorrows and tribulation. It's going to grow upon the earth, sword, famine, great confusion. All right. I'm going to read down to 23, and I'm going to stop there because this is a lot. But it says, "For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." So it said there's going to be massive famine in the earth where people are going to be dying via famine. And it said, and if you ain't dying from the famine, you're going to die by the sword. So there's going to be multiple ways that people are going to be dropping dead around us. Verse 23, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down." So, man, dead bodies are going to be on the street like poop. Cast out like dung, man. Ain't nobody going to give a damn. It's in the way. Oh, I got to avoid it. Let me keep moving. Oh, damn. You see that? Yeah, but avoid it. Keep going. Get out the way. And it's not going to be anything anybody can say to comfort you, to encourage you, and tell you everything's going to be all right. Don't worry. People are going to be frantic and losing their dang minds. Best believe. Let's get to some of these current events, y'all. So everything, like I said, is all encompassing what's going on here. You know what? Before we go there, looking at them, when we see, because I was looking at that article about the West uh, Israelis striking Iranian embassy in Damascus, killing a top general. But look at this, y'all. One thing I want to say, even though we heard a lot of doom and gloom in 2nd Ezra 16, I always want everybody to remain faithful, remain encouraged. If you're standing on the right hand side of righteousness of the Most High, man, you ain't got nothing to worry about. The Lord said the servants is going to eat. We're going to be taken care of. We're going to be shielded, protected. But we got to do our part. We got to do our part. Not only by applying the faith of Yahushua, but applying these laws and these commandments. Look at this. Let's look at verse 4. So Psalms 91. I'm going to just read 4 down to 6. It says, "He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler." Well, what's the truth? What is the truth? Psalm 119 and 142. So it says, "Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth." Okay. So when you get back over here, you know what? I'm going back up to Psalms 91 because this chapter is cold, especially when you need some assurances of the Most High. The Most High said he's not a man that he should lie, right? So if we acknowledge and we see the blueprints of protection, shielding from the Lord, man, we've got to apply these things, man, and really believe that when all hell is breaking loose out there, man, if we're doing our part in covenantal agreement with the Most High, he's going to do his. Right? Psalms 91, it says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust. Surely he will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. See, so the deliverance coming from said destructions and everything else, the Lord said he's going to deliver those who really trust in him. Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. We just read that the law is the truth. That's what's going to keep us protected. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Remember, didn't we just read it? The Most High bended the bow, shot the arrow, the destruction, the plague is sent forth. They're not going to turn back. Nothing can stop them. The Lord said, but when we see these things happening, we're not to be afraid. Right? Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. We just got to read in second Ezra, man. Bodies are gonna be all over the place like dung. If they ain't dying from famine, they're gonna die from the sword. Terror, destruction, tribulation, all these things we see in the plagues, the spirits that were created for vengeance. The Lord said, man, you're gonna see and witness a lot of hell. These damn Christians run around talking about a pre-tribulation rapture, where just before all hell breaks loose, they're going to get beamed up and disappear out of nowhere, and they're not going to witness any of these things. I don't know what the hell they're reading. I don't know what the hell they're reading. But the Most High said, you're going to see 1,000 people falling about Moses. You're going to read in the story. You're going to read in the article. You're going to see it on the news. You're going to see, you might be just escaping out of a tribulation, whether it's a bombing, a mass shooting, or whatever. You might have got up out of there, man. You come back and say, how many people died? I was there that day. I made it out. You never know. Right? But this is how we got to move in the spirit. Let's jump down over here. Let me get to these current events. All right. So, strategic blow. Alleged Israeli airstrike. Alleged. There ain't nothing alleged, man. They acknowledge that they did it. This is why, and this is from the Jerusalem Post. This is why you got to watch these damn GMO small hats out there trying to protect themselves with, guarded language. Legally, alleged Israeli airstrike takes out an Iranian general in Damascus. They're on record acknowledging it was them. I mean, what are you talking about? It was alleged. The strike killed Mohammad Reza Zahidi, a top commander in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, according to reports of Reuters citing security source in Lebanon. Now, this is important because until now, much of the warfare was being done between Israel and Hamas, or the Israelis, I should say, and Hamas, right? The Palestinians. Now, they were getting help with funding and proxy, wars. I mean, proxy strikes via the Iranian Hezbollah army, but not directly. So when you see the Houthis in Yemen, or you hear about, some Hezbollah in Syria or something like that, the Israelis are saying, oh, it's Iran. Iran's doing this stuff. It ain't no different than them receiving money from America, them getting, bombs from America and so forth and so on. Same thing. America's sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, shells, ammunition, F-15s, so forth and so on. But you don't see Russia hitting up America, bombing them, saying you helping, you helped our enemy. No. But there we have it. You see them, you see what they're doing. So this is big because now Iran, which is got a large, massive army known as and rebel group known as Hezbollah, the GMO small hat army over there, they don't want no problems with Hezbollah. They cannot face them on their own, which is very interesting because who are they going to rely on for the help and the backup? None other than their big brother, America. The gray horror is going to have to come to the rescue. So this could be a gateway that draws America into this war. The way the economy is going right now, which we'll talk about probably tomorrow, America needs a crisis in order to make an excuse to prop up the economy. Any reason to print money and justify it because of said destruction, said pandemic, so forth and so on. Remember, just think about this. When the pandemic got hit, what did they do? They justified printing up money because of what? The economy was shutting down. Businesses were closing. Um, the medical industry, big pharma, everything was shutting down. They had to print up some money so they could give stimulus money out there. And now we're at the point where we're seeing what ends up happening is the inflation rates is kicking in, all of the job losses, the banks is now shutting down, going bankrupt, closing shop and the whole nine, right? But now they're going to have to make an excuse to try to save what's going on right now because the economy, despite what they talking about, what like I said, we'll talk about it tomorrow. It ain't looking good at all, at all. So do they need an excuse to the drum of war? If you see, and I always reference this, South of the Border by Oliver Stone, documentary. Um, it deals with the IMF and them funding and controlling and colonizing countries in South and Central America. But there's a particular scene where George Bush is talking with, well, he no, the Argentinian president at the time. He was referencing the conversation that he had with George Bush, baby Bush, and he was talking about the inflation and the issues that Argentina was having with their economy. And he said, uh, George Bush advised to him, told him, he said, you got to start a war. You got to go to war. Wars make money. Con, there you go. Said war means big business. That's right. War is going to open up all kind of defense funding. War is going to mean all of a sudden now you can print up money, you can buy this, that, and the third. You know, war stimulates economy. So he told me, man, that's what's going to get you saved. You got to go to war, and that lets you know that that's the way of America. This is why America's only had 15 years, 16 years of peace since its inception in quote unquote 1776. And the 200 and what is it? I forgot how many years America's been established. 200 and I don't want to butcher it. It's 200 and hold on. 243 years. That was in 2019. So we're looking at probably 248 years. Of that 248 years, America's only known peace between 15 to 17 years. See this? Look. America has been at war 93% of the time, 222 out of its 239 years. See, it's only had 17 years of peace, 15 years of peace, depending on whatever source you choose. But the bottom line is America loves war. There's a warmongering people, man. This is why America is ran by the so-called white man who's what? Been prophesied to live by the sword. This is how we know that the so-called white man is who he is. Esau. Don't get it twisted. Oh, no. It's like Genesis 27. 27 and 39 and 40. It says, and Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So not only is America, the so-called white man inherited the earth, but it said he was going to inherit, according to Job 9:24, the earth's been given into the hands of the wicked, but he was going to dwell in the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heaven from above. I did a class about the fatness of the earth and how America, everything that America's got is the largest producer of oil as it stands right now. America is like number 2 in gold in the earth. It ain't Africa and all that. No, America's got it. America's got the farmlands that rival any place else. America got from the Midwest, all of the Midwest agriculture rivals that of Ukraine and all the rest of the places that they call in the bread basket of the earth. I mean, America's got it all. It's got if you ain't seen the class, go back and watch. 700 plus army bases all throughout the earth. It's set in the middle as an island where it is able to defend itself from east to west. Nobody can creep in on America without being seen first. You can't come on land. You've got to either fly there or you got to take a boat there where you're going to be easily detected. There ain't no creeping in unless you're coming in through the border. But a major invasion is not happening. Only time America had war on its soil was amongst itself between the British and the damn Americans over here. Outside of the wars that they had with Israel and the Northern Kingdom, the American so-called American Indians. That's why nobody came over and touched this place. This is the fatness of the earth right here. And his dwelling, this is central hub where they control all the rest of the nations. Everybody comes to America for help. Everybody looks for America for guidance. Democracy generates out of the great whore. This is why it descends, and this is why it stems off of the 7 heads of the dragon. It's all here. Verse 40, which goes into another reason why we know that the so-called white man is Esau and how America is the fatness of the earth, because he defends it by the sword. This nation has known nothing but war. We just seen it. 93% of the time of its existence has been sustained through what? The sword. This is how they keep the money rolling. Look at World War I, World War II, what it did with the economies and everything else. I mean, this is what it is. The Roaring 20s kicked in. Everybody was balling and doing their thing after World War I was over with. Then they crashed the economy. Brought it back. They had to sell all the gold bonds. They bought everybody's gold, took everybody's gold from them. I mean, and look what's going on right now. And I'm veering off, but bear with me. Again, we'll talk about it more tomorrow, economics and all that. I'm gonna focus on that tomorrow. But think about it after World War I. The Great Depression kicks in. They were doing IOUs with people's gold, seizing people's gold and the whole nine, right? Then when people came back to buy, they was buying it. The banks and everybody was buying it pennies on the dollar. People lost all their inheritances and the whole nine. Now, right now, you got gold. It's at all-time highs. Gold is at like over $2,300 an ounce, highest it's ever been. And you got America tinkering around war, whether it's with joining in with the GMO small hats, or they've got NATO, and Russia is already pronounced that they're already engaging in war right now. Yep, that's right. The North, South, and North America has the best freshwater resources on the planet. The U.S. runs South America. Yep, there you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is it right here. So it says, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So, it's prophesied that Esau was going to go and serve his brother. He served during the times of David, during the times of the kings. Esau was never really a power until the Greeks, 333 BC. That's when he broke the yoke and when he went in and started going in and subduing the earth. All right. So now, getting back over here, could this be a means that America jumps in for war? Quite possibly. We know Iran don't like America. We know that the GMO small hats over there are going to rely on America for help. Let's continue. Let's continue. I want to jump the gun, but look, the CIA warns Iran will attack Israel within 48 hours as revenge for a consulate strike. So Israel jumps out the window, as they've been doing. They've been doing it. We've seen all the genocidal attacks, bombing hospitals, bombing the food, bombing the food aid trucks that's supposed to be going to the Palestinians, relentlessly bombing Palestinian encampments, killing innocent women and children, so forth and so on. I mean, they are the. Let me think how I can say that. They're being monitored by everybody in the world, man. If everybody is looking at a machine for the wicked, dastardly heathens that they are. It's the reason why the Most High said he's going to have war with Amalek forever. Because these bastards, man, they go above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to carrying out their evils. When the Most High called them the synagogue of Satan, man, I mean, seriously. You see how they get down. You see how they manipulate. You see how they twist everybody into feeling guilty when you know damn well they're wrong. Remember, I brought it up before. We still don't know what's going on in them damn tunnels in New York. But it was one damn heathen, GMO Small, had it popped out and said, hey, that's anti-Semitic. You guys keep talking about these tunnels, and everything got shut down. Everything got shut down. You can't talk, you can't even whisper anything about them. Hold on, what was that? Look at this. The truth behind the NYC Kabod Temple sparking new waves of that work. Come on, get out of here. Just damn accept cookies. You see the new waves. You can't even talk about these people. You can't even talk the truth, man. All they got to do is throw that A word out there, man. Everybody run for cover. Everybody run for cover. So look, this was on Thursday, April 4th. So they said the CIA is warning that Iran's going to attack Israel within 48 hours. So they're saying by sometime tomorrow, it's possible that there could be a strike. So far, we ain't heard nothing. I did see an updated article that said within a week now. Because I think their intelligence, they throwing this out there. Oh, we said 48 hours, and now Iran is like, they're putting it out there. No, we ain't going to do that. So now they're saying within a week now. So that's been the update, because they know come tomorrow, don't nothing go down, the CIA is going to look like some a-holes. So they've extended it a week now. But let's just say at any particular point in time, it can go down. It's possible, Bayan. They could hit him up on Passover. Very possible. It says the CIA has warned Israel that Iran will attack the country in the next 48 hours. It has been reported. Israel killed 2 Iranian military commanders with a strike on Tehran's consulate in the Syrian capital Damascus this week. Iran vowed that it would take revenge for the attack, and now foreign media is reporting that U.S. intelligence is fearful of an attack on Israel. Tehran is said to be planning a combined attack with a rain of drones and missiles fired from its bases at strategic locations inside Israel, according to Al Mayadeen. Rain of drones and missiles. Remember, I always love to put out that visual of see, these are the same people. Oop. See, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. They're gonna mess around and flag me. Let me get out of there. Let me get, let me get out of there. I was gonna play it, but you know what? Maybe they'll just give me an image. Even though it was under fair use, under fair use. But you see here, that was the scene in 300. See all them little dots on there? Those are all arrows that came from the Persian Empire, which is modern day Iran. Modern day Iran, right? And they're saying the same things that they said in the movie. This was under King Ahasuerus, the same one that you read, or Xerxes, which they're also acknowledged as Ahasuerus in the Book of Esther. This is under his reign. The rain of arrows is gonna fly, right? I was tempted by him, and I was tempted, man. I want to, I wanted to show it, but yeah, I'm gonna fall back, man. It's the only channel we got right now that's really fully functional. The other ones are still, under slow construction. All right, but anyway, um, they're talking about a rain of drones and missiles. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. All right, let's continue. Iran runs war drills in support of Palestinian intifada. So Iran is running war drills even outside of the fact that once they got hit, now they're really gearing up for war. We haven't heard about them running war drills. They just been utilizing the Houthis in small little pockets of Hezbollah to do their dirty work. But they haven't full fledged and said, you know what, we're getting ready to start getting ready for war. So look, Iran and its military forces in Yemen, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon held a series of joint war drills on Thursday aimed at supporting Palestinian intifada and sending a warning signal to Israel in the wake of a major strike this week on Tehran's consulate in Damascus. So remember, China, Russia, I believe Iran, they all did their military drills earlier. They did it in the sea. NATO was running their biggest war drills ever all this year. America was testing their bombs. They just got through saying that they're arming their F-16s with nukes. They've got the okay to do that. Now we got Iran running war drills along with Yemen, Syria, and Iraq, and Lebanon. I mean, you tell me the times that we living in. Is this not the wars and the rumors of wars that we've been reading about? Continuing on, it says a more than 3,000 ship convoy composed of Iran's volunteer Basij forces is being led by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps throughout the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman. According to Tehran's state-controlled media, the ships are said to be operating in support of the Palestinian intifada. The war force will conduct naval drills simultaneously in the 4 other countries in the region, including Iraq, Syria, Yemen, and Lebanon. To mark the occasion of the International Quds Day, a pro-Palestinian annual event that advocates Israel's destruction. And you know what's interesting too is what they're not even mentioning is this is Ramadan for many of the Muslims out there, and Israel decides to bomb them. Then let me make sure they're still in Ramadan right now. But from my knowledge, I believe they're in Ramadan right now. They're fast month. March 12th is for 30 days. So yeah, they're still in. It should be over on, I believe, the 12th. I believe it's for 30 days. So for them to get hit on Ramadan is a whole nother thing. That's a sacred fast. It's like their version of atonement, which of course they stole, but at the same time, uh, this is the time they deal with reflection, self improvement. You know, their versions of repentance and whatnot. But they do it for 30 days. They fast uh, throughout the day. They eat and feast at night. Daytime they fast. Yes, see, between 29 and 30 days. So if it started on March 12th, it's not over until April 12th. So they got hit during Ramadan. But of course, the media is not acknowledging that. They don't give a damn about that. But yeah, I see what you're saying, Bayan. But let them get hit on Passover. Oh, they're gonna be flooding the airways with how dare they during the holy day of not to diminish the Passover for us true Jews and Israelites, I should say, not these GMO Israelis, right? But they're gonna make sure all hell it breaks loose if that happens. So we see the slant in the coverages. But the war drills is going on. Iran is out there getting ready. There's no mistaking it. Let's continue. Look, Israel sacks 2 officers after finding grave errors in a strike on aid workers. So not only did they bomb the consulate in Damascus and kill the 2 generals, right? Then they also got reckless and bombed a kitchen convoy that killed 7 Americans, or 7 aid workers. I think one of them was American. And all they do is uh find. I mean, they fired 2 officers. I mean, no charges of war crimes, no charges of murder, even if it's manslaughter, nothing. Oh, well, we're just going to fire them and we're going to discipline some of the others. But it was a mistake. Don't they always? Isn't it always a mistake? Every time they do something heinous, every time they bomb, sorry, we didn't mean to bomb the Palestinian encampment. That wasn't our intentions. Oh yeah, we didn't ramshack the food supply. Oh, we didn't try to flood out the tunnels. Oh, we wasn't hiding out in these tunnels in New York, with bloody mattresses and all kind of folly going on in these dirty, stinking rat holes that they had. Oh, leave us alone. We're keeping Shabbat. And you're anti S word if you don't think we're telling the truth. So after they killed a kitchen, these people were going to supply food for the Palestinians. There were a kitchen aid. They get bombed and hit, right? Oh, and that's a whole nother thing. UZL, the red heifer, that's all bogus. These damn Christians and the fake GMO small hats are definitely trying to use that as a form of distraction with some false prophecy jumping off. But that's a whole nother thing. I'm not gonna can't get distracted on that one. But yeah, they laying it out there, spreading it out thick. Uh Continuing on here, right? Look at the judgment. An Israeli inquiry into the killing of 7 aid workers in an airstrike in Gaza this week found serious errors and breaches of procedure by the military, with the result that 2 officers have been dismissed and senior commanders formally reprimanded. Isn't that special? Isn't that fair? Oh, they just got suspended, or they just reprimanded the senior commanders, and the 2 officers they fired. Meanwhile, 7 people are dead. There's been massive rumors talking about them committing war crimes since this thing began. Investigations going down. They just keep getting brushed to the side. They keep telling everybody we have the right to defend ourselves. Haven't we been hearing that coming from the Mockingbird media and everybody else on social media trying to run around with that same rhetoric? You hear that same line. Israel has the right to defend themselves. What is that? 7, 8 words? Israel has the right to defend themselves. 7 words. So completion. You heard it out of George Bush's mouth and every other. I mean, not George Bush, Slovakia. Geritol Joe and all the rest of these the Democratic constituents that's been standing behind Israel. You know, you got we're standing with Palestine, free Palestine, or it's Israel has the right to defend itself. See the paradigm that they lay out there? You got 2 choices. Then when you see one side just acting a damn fool and going buck wild and damn near homicidal, genocidal on the people, and people are saying, hold on, they're out of control. Somebody got to stop them. Somebody needs to, move on them. Now, all of a sudden, when some other aid workers get killed and some Americans, now all of a sudden it's, we got to do something. Okay, just fire those 2. We found out that there were some errors happening, grave errors. Yeah, right. They know what they was doing. The grave errors was, we didn't know those workers were going to be there. They didn't have no errors in the coordinates and the bombings that they did. They knew what they was doing. The error was, oops, we killed some friendlies. The inquiry found Israeli forces mistakenly believed they were attacking Hamas gunmen when drone strikes hit the 3 vehicles of the World Central Kitchen Aid Group late on Monday night, and that standard procedures had been violated. The strike on the 8 vehicles is a grave mistake stemming from a serious failure due to a mistaken identification, errors in decision-making, and an attack contrary to the standard operating procedures, the military said in a statement issued Friday. Of course. A big old oops. You know how many oops there's been? The bodies laid out, man. I mean, with the body counters in the I'm sure over 30,000 right now. Let me see. How many Palestinians let's see. 33,494. The latest death toll stands at 33,550 compared to 1,139 people. I think, I think the GMO small have gotten their get back at this point, right? I mean, 30-fold. Shouldn't they be like calming down now? Shouldn't they be falling back saying, okay, we made our point? No, they're going for complete genocide. Even if it means they're killing aid workers, and then they say, oops, fire the 2 cats, man, and let's keep it pushing. So there we see what's going on over there. Let's continue on. Russia and NATO, listen to this now. We've been talking about it for a hot minute. Russia and NATO are now in direct confrontation. Let me rewind that. Russia and NATO are now in direct confrontation. Do you know what that means? You know what that means? See, when Russia and NATO are in direct confrontation, we're talking World War III. I've already been saying it for the longest that this already began. But if we want to say, is it fair to say that the beginnings or the doors of entry for World War III have been opened up? Yes. You see it here. They're in direct confrontation. The Kremlin declares on the day of the alliance celebrates the 75th anniversary as it accuses the U.S.-led bloc of moving towards our borders. So when they lock horns, man, it's it. When they officially jumping out the window, and the Russia is saying we're in direct confrontation with these cats, man. They right in front of us. You got the French Prime Minister Macron over there talking about we got to go to war. We got to get these guys. The British are saying, yeah, we got to get them because if not, they're going to bomb the hell out of us and destroy us. Poland is saying, yeah, we got to arm up and shore up our borders because we're next. Everybody in all these NATO countries saying, well, we're all next. Everybody's next. And now they're saying that they are in direct confrontation. Look at this. As NATO leaders and diplomats gathered for a ceremony in Brussels marking 75 years of the security bloc, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters in Moscow, in fact, relations have now slipped to the level of direct confrontation. NATO was, quote, already involved in the conflict surrounding Ukraine. I thought they wasn't. Thought they were just on the sidelines sending aid. No, they've already been involved. Continues to move toward our borders and expand its military infrastructure towards our borders, he said. So keep that in mind. Fallout fears. Russia declares a state of emergency after radiation leak with potentially lethal contamination detected in Khabarovsky, whatever that is, goddamn Khabarovsky. Interestingly enough, after it's understood and determined that NATO and Russia are in direct confrontation, all of a sudden now there's a unexplained radiation leak that's hit this city in Russia, and they don't know how it happened. And now there's a state of emergency in Russia. A Russian city declared a state of emergency today after a mysterious radiation leak. High radiation levels were found near a pylon just 1.5 miles away from the homes of Khabarovsk, according to reports. Authorities cordoned off the area on Friday, but the source of the potential lethal radiation leak is not known and has not been made public. Andrei Kolchin, the head of the civil defense in the city, said, quote, a source of increased radiation levels was discovered. The area was cordoned. It was decided to introduce a state of emergency in Khabarovsk to carry out work faster. Authorities said the source of radiation was, quote, removed and placed in a protective container and taken to a radioactive waste storage facility. So very ironic that they get hit with a radiation state of emergency in this particular city right after they've been having a direct confrontation with NATO. I'm just saying. Let's continue. Oh, the world turns on Israel after World Central Kitchen slaughter. International fury grows with Slow Biden saying he is, quote, outraged and heartbroken. Oh, can it be that Slow Biden actually has a pulse? That is actually something beating in his godforsaken, decrepit frame? He's outraged and heartbroken. Can you believe it? He's upset at what happened. He does not like the fact that, these war crimes are happening and Israel has lost control. And, does Geritol Joe really, does he really, is he really outraged? Let's see. Hold on. So the world is saying that they're turning on Israel. Everybody's turning against them, right? They're going to flip that and say, see, we've always been hated. Everybody doesn't like us. This is how we know we're the chosen. Why? Because of your wickedness, or because the scriptures say we're going to be hated because of our righteousness? The scriptures say that we've been cursed because we disobeyed the laws and the commandments of the Most High, that all nations are going to come against us, and we're going to be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, sold into captivity, and one of all things from our enemies. None of the above is happening to them. So they can't flip it and be like, see, everybody hates the Jews. No. It's because you're evils. But look at this. Geritol Joe says he's outraged too, right? Oh, really? After long-standing support of Israel in its war with Hamas terrorists, didn't Slow Biden say We're standing with it. We're standing with Israel all the way to the end, and you have our unwavering support and blah, 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 blah. They said it from the jump. Israel has the right to defend itself, and we're going to stand behind them, and America has your back until the end, and da 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 da. Right? Oh, so now all of a sudden he's changing his tune? Is it true? Gerald told you? Well, look, after long-standing support of Israel in its war with Hamas terrorists, President Joe Biden is joining a chorus of world leaders furious over the drone strikes that killed aid workers in Gaza, including one American. Biden issued a statement claiming Israel, quote, has not done enough to protect aid workers trying to deliver desperately needed help to civilians as thousands of Palestinians are caught in the crosshairs of war and left without food, water, and other necessary supplies. The president called for a, quote, swift investigation to bring accountability to what he said was not a standalone incident. So there was a swift judgment. Oh, don't worry, slow Biden. We fired the two guys that we made. We said it was a grave error. We fired the two. We're going to discipline the generals involved. Don't worry, we got it all taken care of. Slow Biden, Geritol Joe gonna say, okay, thanks. Good. Now let's get back to business. Oh, look at this. Oh, no, not this one. Preparing strikes on Israeli embassies. The coming Iranian response to the Syria strike. So this was another headline. They're saying that, the Iranians was going to prepare to strike some Israeli embassies. That's yet to be seen. They said it's going to happen within 48 hours. Now they changed it to a week. We're going to see what happens. Bayan is betting on the Passover. We're going to see. All I want to do is buy it will now or sometime in the near future, as long as it happens. That's my that's my thoughts and prayers. As long as it happens, I don't care when. Just make it happen. Look, so the slow Biden jumps out the window. He says, "We hold on. Let me make sure I'm on the right one." Yep. So slow Biden even comes out. He says, "We won't support you." Inside Biden's ultimatum to Bibi. So Israeli Prime Minister, or he's the president, I believe, Bibi. Slow Biden is on record saying that he's not going to support them. He said Netanyahu's out of control, so forth and so on. He just met with them. Now, look, it says President Biden laid out an ultimatum to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in their call on Thursday. If Israel doesn't change course in Gaza, we won't be able to support you, he said, according to three sources with knowledge of the call. Why it matters, Biden didn't specify what a loss of support would entail, and he didn't mention the possible of stopping weapons shipments to Israel. So they're saying he said we won't be able to support you, but he wasn't clear about in what manner. So look at this. It said the sources said, but it was that the president it was the president's toughest call with Netanyahu since October 7th attacks, both in tone and in substance. Give me a break. The Joe Biden can't hold a conversation long enough to inflect tone and substance. Come on. Look at this. Look at this. This is how you know he's a damn liar, man. The white man speak with forked tongue. White man speak with forked tongue. Straight up. Look at it. Deuteronomy 33. And let's read just 29. Look at this. Happy art thou, O Israel. Who is like unto thee, O people saved by Yahweh? Now, this is why the Christians don't want to read the Old Testament, because we can see clearly salvation or being saved of the Lord is to who? Israel. Oh, so when you're the Christian, you bump into them and say, "Oh, I'm saved already." Not if you don't acknowledge you Israel. Oh, salvation, Christ came, died, and God is forever. We're all going to be saved through grace. What? No. Happy art thou, O Israel. Who is like unto thee? Nobody. Deuteronomy 7 and 6 and all of the other precepts, first Peter 2, a peculiar people. Who's like unto us? Nobody. First Chronicles 17:21. I mean, it's all about us. It says, "Oh, people saved by Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemy shall be found liars unto thee." See, this is why we expose Slow Biden, Geritol Joe, Jim Crow Joe, all the monikers that we have for him. Agent Orange when it comes down to Donald Trump, you know, all of them. The Lord said, "You're going to see that there are liars." See niggas out here standing outside in front of 99-cent stores and other marketplaces begging to get someone to sign up and register to vote. Not go sit down somewhere, man. That's not going down at all. The Lord said, "Man, we've already been shown that these are been found to be liars. Thine enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places." This place is going to get squashed and destroyed and demolished through the spirit and power of the Most High Yahweh Shai. This is why we know Slow Biden is a damn liar. Look, right here, he says, "We won't support you," in a phone call. You just seen before that. He says he's outraged and heartbroken about the war crimes and the aid workers that got killed and the whole nine, right? We seen it. Now, look at this. Biden to sell up to 50 fighter jets to Israel for $18 billion in the biggest arms sale to Tel Aviv since the start of the war. This was after they bombed that KitchenAid convoy. He doubled down and said, "I'm going to sell you the most fighter jets ever." After they just acknowledged they've been committing war crimes. Slow Biden talking about how he's grieved and hurt and we can't help you. But backdoor, he's making $18 billion deals. And that's not it. Look, outrage. As Ukraine military chief says, America. Oh, this ain't the right one. But anyway, I'm gonna get another article in a second. It might be after this. But look at it. Outrageous Ukraine military chief says that America's F-16 jets that are due to arrive at a cost of $1 billion are no longer relevant. Every weapon has its right time. We needed them in 2023, not 2024. Now we need shells and rockets. So Ukraine is over here, begging and crying and whining about the F-16 jets. Remember, Slow Biden said last year, when we start sending F-16s and tanks and all of that, it's called World War III. He signed a bill and said we're going to give him F-16s, which acknowledging that he's saying that we're in World War III. America is funding it by proxy right now. But they didn't get them until now. So it took them some months for them to get it. And now Ukraine is saying it's too late. We already getting our butts kicked, man. Ain't nothing we can do about it. We needed them last year to get on track and try to stay in this thing. Now just get us some shells and rockets. So they still, the hundreds of billions of dollars, that's not enough. All the ammunition they get, now they still panhandling saying, give us more. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing by these damn people. But look at this. This is the next one. With Slow Biden. Geritol Joe. U.S. approved more bombs to Israel on the day of the World Central Kitchen strikes. You think America's got an ounce of guilt on them? The same day that they had the World Kitchen strikes, man, they approved to send more bombs over there. So not only did they just make $1 million deal to give them 50 F-16s, and they said we're gonna give you some more bombs too. You talk about the devil, man, speaking with a damn forked tongue, man. You tell me. You tell me. This is why there is no space in the kingdom of heaven for them people. Like, what I say, 20? Let's go 22. Revelation 22. And let's look at this. Verse 14 and 15. It says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life. So the commandments are still relevant. The commandments are still essential to get the right to the tree of life, which essentially is the kingdom of heaven, which is getting back into the essences of Genesis, uh, the tree of immortality, right? Where we feed off of the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding and the commandments of the Lord. It says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. So our ticket to get into the kingdom is keeping the commandments. Verse 15, for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers. I mean, all of the above, the so-called white man can be categorized in each one, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie, love to make up lies. I mean, who better than him? Nobody. I mean, he loves, loveth and maketh a lie. He loves the lie, and he makes up lies all the damn time. So when we read these headlines, and he's talking about how much he, it's such a tragedy. I'm heartbroken, and I can't help you guys no more. And blah blah blah. Meanwhile, is the $18 million deal done for the bombs? I mean, for the F-16s? Yeah. Okay, and we're gonna double down. We're gonna make sure that we get the bombs over there too. Hey, well, they just killed 7 aid workers and an American. Joe, we can't do that. Sign it over. I'm gonna make sure that I make a public statement that I'm outraged, and they're gonna have to change the course of Gaza, and they better make some swift corrections, or I'm cutting them off. Don't worry, it's all in the teleprompter notes, man. My handlers told me this is what I gotta say. I can't take no questions. I'm gonna get in trouble. But this is what they said is gonna happen. So clearly we see he's caught in a lie. The Biden administration approved the transfer of thousands more bombs to Israel on the same day. Israeli airstrikes in Gaza killed 7 aid workers for the charity group World Central Kitchen. 3 U.S. officials told the Washington Post this week after the incident elicited global condemnation. So they approved it. That means they haven't sent them yet, but it's still been approved. They still saying it's a go. They didn't cut it off. They didn't say, no, wait a minute, no, we're not sending bombs over there no more. I haven't seen it. So there you have it. Caught in another one. Red-handed. That's how you know, man. Also, when you hear like those little catchphrases, you got caught red-handed. Well, who in Genesis 25, the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. Who's the red-handed thief? Who's the one always getting caught doing some dirt? Who's the red hand that's always doing evil? And then we see, well, who was described as red out the scriptures? Oh, so-called white man. Why, when they talk about somebody told a lie, it's a white lie? Huh? Somebody explain that to me. What's a white lie? Oh, it's not a big lie, it's just a little one, but it's still a lie, but it's nothing major. But what? It's a white lie. He that loveth and maketh a lie, man. It all ties back to him. The devil's in the details. Let's continue. With famine looming, aid group halts food delivery in Gaza after Israeli strike kills 7 workers. So, who's really suffering the most out of this? Not only are the Palestinians over there still starving in the whole nine, but now they cut off the food aid because of the bombing. So they're cutting off the aid, but they're giving more bombs from F-16s to the Israelis as they're running around in the public, slow Biden in America, talking about how much they condemn the attacks, how much they don't they don't agree with what's going on, and Israel's out of control, and we're going to discipline. What? I can't tell. The Palestinians look like they're catching the worst of it. Look at this. Some of Israel's closest allies, including the United States, on Tuesday condemned the deaths of 7 aid workers who were killed by airstrikes in Gaza, a loss that prompted multiple charities to suspend food deliveries to Palestinians on the brink of starvation. So they bombed aid, and then all the charities say, "Well, we ain't going over there. We're not going to be next." So did it work? Did the Israelis end up still cutting off food aid? They don't have to ramshack the food aid trucks like they've been doing in times past, starving them out. One threat of a strike, boom, all the aid says, we're not sending no food over there. We're cool on that. And America comes out and says it makes a public statement saying they're condemning it, but meanwhile, I can't tell. They were doing food drops, knocking kids upside the head, killing kids 2 weeks ago. Them damn Sam niggas over there can't catch a break. The death of the World Central Kitchen workers threatened to set back efforts by the U.S. and other countries to open a maritime corridor for aid from Cyprus to help ease the desperate conditions in northern Gaza. Slow Biden issued an unusually blunt criticism of Israel by its closest allies, suggesting that the incident demonstrated that Israel was not doing enough to protect civilians. Give me a break. Israel is not doing enough to protect aid workers trying to deliver desperately needed help to civilians. Of course they're not. They're not trying to help. He was outraged and heartbroken. Give me a break. Knock it off. So the aid worker gets bombed. 7 of them die. One of them's American. They fire 2 Israeli soldiers, supposedly discipline the others, and in return, they get more F-16s and more bombs. The Palestinians get no food, and all of the other charitable deliveries have been suspended. So, who's really coming out on the sympathetic ends of being outraged and heartbroken? Come on, look at this foolishness. Iran warned Russia about the possibility of a major terrorist operation ahead of the Moscow concert hall shooting that killed 144 people. Sources claim, as experts claim, Europe could suffer more terror attacks as ISIS-K grows stronger. I mean, they always got different names. ISIS-K, ISIS. Obama was calling them ISIL. I mean, if they don't knock it off with all of their damn terror groups that they got in the back pocket, now they're saying, "Oh, Russia." There's always a warning. America. Every time there's a mass shooting, we warned them ahead of time, and nobody ever does nothing. They always let it go by. The irony, man. They're always talking this foolishness. Yeah, we told them, but they did disregard it. So that means they was complicit or they wanted it to go down. We don't know, but it's always in the frame of mind where they say, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." Let's continue. Zelensky's lowering the draft age to shore up Ukraine's depleted army. I mean, they over there trying to get women. They dropping the draft age. They're scooping up anybody and everybody they can. I mean, this thing is over with. That's why we're going to have to see the headlines of NATO being in direct confrontation with Russia, because Ukraine is pretty much a wash. The only thing they can do is absorb them into NATO and say, okay, boom, now we're fully engaged in the war because now they're part of us. Or there's going to be some sort of false flag attack that draws NATO into the war, saying that Russia bombed them or Russia was behind some sort of attack, and now we got to do something about it. Or Russia could use the whole little radiation incident and say, hey, we found information that this was a planted device by NATO, and they use it to bomb somebody. We already seen that they said that the so-called ISIS attack was done by the Ukrainians. Something's going to give up. So, something's got to give, because it's pretty clear Ukraine is over with. That's done. Let's look at this earthquake real quick. Everybody knows and seen what happened with Taiwan. It says it's like a mountain collapse. If you've seen the videos, man, you've seen the whole buildings falling and collapsing. I mean, they was out there running in the streets like Godzilla, kaiju hit the shores. Um, and that's interesting, man, because the scriptures make mention, man, that Moab, because Taiwan is part of it is are Moabites. The Taiwanese are Moabites. They descend from the same seed as the Chinese. Okay. And the Most High pronounced that he's going to have judgment on Moab. Jeremiah 48. And look at 29. Because we just read in 2nd Ezra 16 that there's going to be earthquakes, right? As part of the judgment. And it said it's going to be in Asia. Now we see in verse 28 of Jeremiah of judgments that's going to befall Moab. But look, verse 29, it says, "We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart." So this is why when we read in 2nd Ezra 15, and it talks about Asia being the trying to be like America, essentially. I'm paraphrasing it heavily, but y'all know what I'm talking about. 2nd Ezra 15, and I believe it's like in the 40s. Where we at? Right, here we go. 46. See, 2nd Ezra 15:46, it says, "And thou, Asian, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon." See, the Moabites, man, China and its constituents, North Korea, South Korea, they try to carry themselves in competition with the so-called white man. When we see the relationship between Moab, Ammon, Edom, I brought this out a number of times. They're always in close proximity, and they're always running together, doing their dirt, facing the same judgments, conspiring against Israel together. See, Moab wants to be like the so-called white man. The Koreans want to be like the so-called white man. When you see, when you watch, if you happen to notice the colorism that they do in like Korean films, Chinese films, they always got the light skin. They always are all super bright white light because they envy the white man. All of their stars are all like, they all pick the light ones because they want to be like America. Look at this. These K10 drama have the best skin. Let's see what they look like. Let's see if they capping or not. See, look at this guy. Trying to look like Esau, man. There was a what is this? There was I remember seeing a documentary. Look at this. Why do East Asians want pale skin? How K-pop stars get glass skin? These 7 male idols have the fairest skin in K-pop. I mean, they're talking about the K-pop. Their little look at this. Where does the Asian obsession with white skin come from? K-pop is their form of pop music and all of that, but they have an obsession with pale skin. Look, tracing the roots of Koreans' white skin obsession. Everybody knows about it. They're the hope and the partakers of Babylon. They want to be like the so-called white man. From physical representation, they're in competition with him when it comes down to war, with their armaments and whatnot. Their armies. They're in competition when it comes down to technology. They're in competition when it comes down to who can oppress their people and impose, whether it's a dictatorship or democracy, which particular form of uh, governmental rule is going to be most successful, right? Uh, yeah, you said the Korean shows on Netflix, they all try to be so. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, absolutely. That's the point, right? And I think it said that they got a yeah, right here. Weeks after Korean series Hellbound became a massive hit on Netflix, another show, Single Inferno, started. Okay, no, I thought they had the. I thought they were talking about a documentary on Netflix, but nonetheless, yeah, they that's just the Korean. The Chinese is the same way. They're all envious of Esau, right? They're partakers of the hope of Babylon. They prop up America. I mean, when Americans in financial straits, what do? They go and sell their bonds to China. China goes and buys up real estate over here. You see, when it comes down to the greatest influx of so-called immigrants, they're Chinese, not Hispanic. But in order to keep that under wraps, and in order for them to not exploit the fact that they're being allowed to come over here in droves, I showed y'all the video a couple months ago with them sliding through underneath the gates and running through. And played some of the news article they were talking about the greatest influx of immigrants is Asians. But guess what? Because they're in the pockets of America and vice versa, and they butt buddies. The Mockingbird media says no, it's all the damn Haitians and Hispanics coming over here. And they're getting swept under the rug because they work in cahoots with America. So Asia is the partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. See, when we see all of these things go down from the pandemic that just got through happening, the lockdowns and everything else, the Moab was like the Moab and Ammon, they were like the prototypes for global oppression. They was welding people in their apartments. They put them on quarantines. They had ration days where they can come out and shop like every 3 days. They was able to come out into the public. They was wearing masks before the pandemic. You dig what I'm saying? Social credit scores, cameras all over the place. They already was doing everything. They're the glory of what eventually Babylon is going to increase. Glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers. They love, man, these damn Koreans and Chinese, man, would love to get them a white man to marry, let alone they involve themselves with all the adornments of the uh, idolatry and everything else, right? It says, which have always desired to commit whoredom with these. I mean, they've always wanted to be in bed with the great whore. So when these judgments start slapping upside the head, this is what they get. Because they are exceedingly proud. You hurry up and buy. You buy, you go. What do you want? What do you want? Y'all remember? Some of y'all might not have seen. There's a basketball team, professional basketball team that was playing over in China. The bus pulls up. It's a crowd of Moabites out there, and they out there saying, nigga, 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 nigga. Did y'all see that video? I played it. It was over a year ago. Time is flying so bad. It could have been 2 years ago. I'm not gonna play it, but I just want to see. Yeah, video shows Chinese fans yelling racist slurs at American basketball player Sonny Weems. subjected to racial abuse. Where did they hear that rhetoric from? Where did they hear this type of thing going on? I said we're gonna play the video. Let's see if it plays. If it keeps buffering, I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna keep moving. All right, it's buffering. I ain't playing. But y'all know what I'm talking about. See, nigga, nigga. That's what they was doing. That's the problem. That's because what do? They're following after their white zaddy. Oh, he that's how he treats them. Okay, we do the same thing. Oh, that's how we take advantage of it. We do the same thing. Oh, that's how we colonize and move into their neighborhoods and buy up stores and businesses and sell stuff to them. Oh, we do it just like that. Arrogancy and pride. I mean, you seen the videos, man, with them damn grown damn Moabite men laying hands on sisters, beating them and kicking them out their stores from buying wigs and hair products. And we had to run around and tell sisters, man, protest, don't buy your stuff from them no more. Remember that a few years ago? Hey, when Geritol Joe got into office, what was the first bill that he signed? Or one of the first, I should say, anti-Asian hate bill. Remember that? See, they got shit coming to them. Let me drop down right here. Verse 48. I'm just get ready. Excuse me, it's like 38. Getting right to the point. A little bit more. It says, there shall be lamentation generally upon all the housetops of Moab and in the streets thereof, for I have broken Moab like a vessel wherein is no pleasure, saith Yahweh. So this is what Moab gets, man. They're going to experience great destruction. Let me look at this. Psalm 6. Hold on. What happened here? Psalm 60 and 8, right? Everybody know this verse. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. So let's look at the Hebrew word for washpot. Let's look at this one. What does a washpot mean in this context? Sayar, meaning to boil up. So this is why we see Moab constantly bubbling, boiling over in the pot, in the mix, with all the world events, with all of the different headlines and news. They're always involved in something, be it from essences of technology, warfare, uh, historical things from they Chinese dynasties and the Huns and whatever, right? They're always going to be boiling up. They're always going to be in the mix. They're always going to be stirring up something. Then it says also a thorn, as Moab has been a thorn in our side, just like the Canaanites and other nations. So a fish hook or a hook, they're going to be used as a weapon or used as a means of reeling in or catching in or baiting in different aspects of current and world events. See, Moab is very important when it comes down to the grand scheme of things, right? Now it says Moab is my watch spot, and let me back up. So see, it says Moab is my watch spot over Edom when I cast in my shoe. I like this in the NLT when you see what it says for Moab. It says, look at this in NLT. It says, but Moab, my wash basin, will become my servant. But look at this. And I will wipe my feet on Edom. That's the ultimate judgment, man, for these damn Edom. And shout and triumph over Philistia. So the Africans, they're gonna get triumphed over. Yahweh is gonna wipe his feet on Edom. Remember in what is it, Isaiah 63? Says, who is this that come from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Looked like he been came in the wine, blood, his white garment covered in blood, like he been treading the wine press. That's wiping his feet on Edom. And Moab is going to be set for servitude. He's going into bondage. They're going into captivity, right? That's what they got going on. But remember, the Most High said back in Jeremiah, there's going to be great lamentation upon all the housetops of Moab. Look at what I was looking this up. The list of earthquakes in China. Great lamentation going on over there, right? Just off of earthquakes alone. Okay. Now they date this at 512 BC. 5,310 died. In the year 1038, they had another one. 32,000 died. In the year 1290, 100,000 died. 1303, 270,000 died. The Most High be wiping their ass. I mean, why Most High be wiping their butts out? Okay. 1556, another 100,000 died by earthquake. Let's move down some more. 1668, they had 50,000 died. 1679, 45,000. 1695, 52,000. How about 1718 in Tongwei Gansu earthquake? 75,000. Kang Ding Lu Ding Dong Dong 1786, 100,000 plus. But that's not it. Look at this one. 1920. Haiyuan earthquake. 265,000. The Most I put to death. 9,000. 1933. And it started slowing down as the years progressed. Last one they had that was big, 2008. 87. Do y'all remember that? 2008? Some of y'all wasn't even thinking about Moab. Most of y'all wasn't in the truth, wasn't even concerned about that. I was in the truth. I remember this. 2008. I was doing current events and talked about it. 87,587. 18th most deadliest earthquake ever. 87,000 died in 2008. You talk about Moab catching. Great lamentation has been over there. Taiwan, to another extent, they've had one, a couple in the thousands. They've had lower numbers. Some they haven't been able to account for. But remember, they're the same people. 2,000, So when we see the judgment, that was just injuries. Lucky. I'm looking at injuries. 1999, they had 2,400 people die in an earthquake. 1935, they had 3,000, 3,200. So you talk about the great lamentation and the Most High talking about how he's going to judge the wretched Asians and all of that. I mean, look, you see what's going on. So should we be surprised when we see stuff like this? Strongest earthquake, 9 people killed, 50 missing. The infrastructure's all jacked up. And this is on the cusp of them saying that they were preparing themselves for war with China. Is China saying we're getting ready to take back what's rightfully ours, and you're going to get back over here and be under this one China policy? Should they get hit up? Earthquake in New York, New Jersey. You talk about diverse places. People over there, man, was shook to death. Because that's not normal over there. Not at that magnitude. They've had earthquakes before. I think they had one in Buffalo a few years ago. That was around in the low 4s. I mean, for us who out here in Cali, where we're kind of used to a 4.8, we'll feel it, but we ain't tripping. We'll be like, oh, yeah, it's a little rock. But when you see that, and their buildings over there on the East Coast Out here, they already, they've been structuring the buildings to be earthquake resistant to a degree. Not proof, because in most I can jack that Richter scale up to where it'll destroy whatever. That San Andreas fault can get to cracking anything. But there are the buildings in the homes a little bit more structured to withstand after going through so many damn earthquakes. They started building the constructions to be a little bit more fortified. The ones out there, they ain't prepared for none of this. You got buildings swaying in the whole nine at 4.8. Out here, we just feel a little bit of a little rock. There, they're seeing the building swaying in the whole nine. So if New York tri-state area, if they get hit with a 5 point anything, 6 point, they're gonna get hit with some real damage because they're not built to withstand the magnitude of these earthquakes. So yeah, here we go. We're seeing one earthquake in Taiwan, 7.4. Now we got 4.8. We're leading into the eclipse. What does it all mean? We just talk about signs and wonders and things that's going to be happening during this time. Who knows? What else could be happening within the next 48 hours or after? You know. Last thing we're gonna look at before we transition into part two tomorrow, most high willing, is I made mention earlier. Gold prices hit another record high after fresh U.S. data spurs Fed cut expectations. With it being understood, like I said, gold is at its all-time high, another record high, man. It's been boosting up. I remember last year sometime, and like I said, I'm not no financial expert. I just look at what's going on. I absorb some wisdom. I know that gold and silver are mentioned in the scriptures, and those are lifelong quality precious metals that go nowhere and that never lose their value and never lose their importance. So to invest in, if you have the extra coin, no pun intended, I would suggest you get a little something. I mean, gold at this point is pretty much out the realms of possibility for most of us. I mean, who's spending, uh, you know, 2,300 plus? That's what it's worth right now. You try to buy it, they're selling it for a profit. So I don't know what an ounce of gold is right now. They're probably selling for $2,500 because they got to make a profit. Silver, I think the last time I seen silver earlier today, it was at like $27 an ounce, which is pretty good. Pretty good. A lot of these little silver and gold experts and coin experts and all that, they saying if silver hits $30, it's over with. The contrast is that when the precious metals are outpacing the dollar and they're growing, or even these alternative methods of money, the cryptos and all that, when they start doing better than the quote unquote natural economies that America got lined up, the markets are going to panic. Esau is going to have to do something tragic, something major, something's got to go down in order for them to instill a method to infuse the system economy back on track. They're gonna they can cook the books, they can make up some numbers, they're gonna crash something. Whether it's the crypto, they're gonna deflate. They're gonna pump up the money to devalue the precious metals. Something's gonna go down. Whether it's war, they can institute another pandemic. That's why we're hearing about this bird flu jumping off, because what happened, like I said before, they lock everything down, they shut down the economy, but then they make an excuse to say, well, listen, we can't fall under. We're going to have to print up this money. They print up the money. That means they're going to take away the value from the other real hard assets that could be utilized as alternative methods of payment. Bottom line is, when you start seeing stuff like that, gold at all time highs, that means that the economy is crashing. Bad news for America. That's why we're seeing everything going on with the banks, bankruptcies and all of that. We'll talk about all of that tomorrow, but that's going to set the tone for tomorrow's part two. a DSTM, most high permit. All right. Tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. Lord willing, we'll pick it up from there, and we're gonna get back into it. All right. But I'm gonna conclude there. Man. Hopefully, everybody got some understanding, some edification tonight. And I added on to whatever y'all already been absorbing. Um, and we're gonna call it like that, man. So shout out to everybody that stayed up with me tonight, contributing and jumping in the chat. And if you hit the like button, or if you haven't yet, make sure you tap that on the way out, man. Do your brother that solid, all right? We're trying to stay above water over here, you know. YouTube is on a rampage. They're definitely out there uh, combing the streets, trying to get rid of some of the truth tellers out there, man. So, uh, pay attention out there, y'all, because the famine of the word is definitely here. And they're trying to make it hard for us to survive out here, getting flooded out with nonsense. But nonetheless, we still here pushing. All right. So I'm gonna get on out of here, man. Y'all have a good night and blessed Sabbath evening. Lord willing, see y'all tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're gonna get to it again. All right. Y'all be well. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger. I'm out.